A family moves into a new house, only to discover a dark entity that resides in their backyard pool. Ray Waller, a former baseball player, now ill, moves with his family into a beautiful house boasting a spacious pool. Initially, the home seems perfect for Ray's water therapy recommended by his doctor. However, as Ray's health improves, the family faces increasingly eerie occurrences. Unbeknownst to them, the house harbors a secret beyond comprehension, and when a long-hidden truth emerges, it unleashes a sinister force that plunges the family into a terrifying abyss that demands a great sacrifice to escape. Strap in, movie enthusiasts, it's recap time. Today, we will be recapping a supernatural horror film named Night Swim from the year 2024. So, let's start. The movie begins on a summer night in 1992. A young girl named Rebecca peers out of her bedroom window and spots a toy boat floating in the pool. She promises her sick brother Tommy that she'll retrieve it for him. Quietly, she approaches the pool and tries to use a net to grab the toy. Suddenly, something pulls her into the water. Struggling back to the surface, Rebecca sees what appears to be her mom's hand reaching out to her. But when she reaches the surface, there's nobody there. Feeling uneasy, she's about to leave the pool when she notices the toy boat has returned. As she tries to grab it again, the mysterious force pulls her underwater repeatedly, despite her cries for help. Moments later, only her bunny slipper resurfaces. In the present day, a man named Ray Waller, now middle-aged, is house hunting with his wife Eve and their kids Izzy and Elliot. Ray used to be a professional baseball player, but his career ended early due to a degenerative illness. Their realtor shows them a townhome tailored for medically disabled individuals, but the Wallers continue their search and visit another house once owned by the Summers family. The pool there is closed off, but Ray tells Eve he's always dreamed of having a home with a pool. While Eve steps away, Ray tries to retrieve a baseball from the pool, but gets pulled in by the same mysterious force as before. He struggles to free himself, recalling his days as a baseball star, and manages to swim out before his family finds him. At the hospital, the doctor advises Ray to rest and do light exercises like walking and swimming to slow down his illness. Ray suggests to Eve that the house with the pool could be beneficial for him to practice water immersion therapy. Eve, wanting a place of their own, agrees. The family moves into their new house, and the kids start at a new school. Izzy develops a crush on a boy named Ronan, while Eve begins working at a nearby school. Sometime later, the Wallers decide to clean the pool. However, when Ray reaches into the drain, something cuts his hand deeply, and dirty brown water starts seeping out. The pool maintenance crew arrives to inspect the pool, informing the family that its water comes from an aquifer, making it naturally heated and rich in healthy minerals. Once the pool is prepared, the Wallers begin using it, and Ray starts to feel better from his therapy. One night, while Eve is swimming alone, she sees what she thinks is Ray standing above her while she's underwater. But when she surfaces, he's gone. The pool lights start flickering, and Eve, feeling scared, quickly gets out of the water. Later, when Eve asks Ray about the incident in the bedroom, he insists he never went outside. Later that night, the family cat, Cider, stands by the pool and hisses at the same toy boat from the beginning of the movie, which starts floating in the water again. The next morning, the family realizes that Cider is missing, and they find her tracker neckband floating in the pool water. This leads the Wallers to decide to install a pool cover to prevent any more incidents. That same night, Eve wakes up from a scary dream and finds her husband taking a night swim in the pool. In the next scene, Ray undergoes some testing for his disease, and the doctor is amazed to discover that Ray has experienced a remarkable recovery unlike anything she has seen before. On another day, Elliot wants to swim in the pool, but his mom tells him to wait for his dad. However, Ray is busy working out, so he gives Elliot a coin with a smiley drawn on it and asks him to play in the shallow end until he's finished. While playing underwater, Elliot sees coins being thrown into the deep end and thinks Izzy is playing a prank on him. But when he resurfaces, he doesn't find her. Still, he continues to the deep end, collecting the coins. Suddenly, he sees the reflection of a girl standing outside the pool, but when he reaches the surface, there's no one there. Then, he hears a loud thud on the diving board, but finds nothing there. Next, he overhears Rebecca's voice coming from the pool drains, calling for her mom. She appears to return Elliot's toy, but when he grabs it, he finds it tangled in a mess of hair. Suddenly, a frightening humanoid hand grabs his arm, but he manages to break free. Elliot then rushes to tell Eve, but they find no one around. When Eve shares this with Ray, he attributes Elliot's fear to loneliness. So, Eve plans a pool party to help Elliot make friends. Later, Ray joins Elliot and the other kids at a little league practice. After Ray gives some advice to the kids, the coach invites Ray to take a swing, which he does. As he swings, Ray falls but quickly gets up. When the ball comes again, he hits it so hard that it not only breaks the ball, but also sends it flying into one of the lights. Everyone cheers, but Elliot looks worried. One night, Izzy invites her classmate Ronan to the pool while her parents are out. They start playing Marco Polo, but when it's Izzy's turn, Ronan mischievously steps out of the pool. After a while, Izzy can't hear Ronan or the music they were playing. With her eyes closed, Izzy hears a growling voice responding to her. She follows the voice but finds nothing. Suddenly, a grotesque bloated creature says "Polo" right behind her and dives under the water. Thinking it's Ronan, Izzy follows it deep into the pool until the creature reappears in front of her and grabs her legs. Frightened, Izzy manages to break free and swims back up. She finds Ronan waiting for her, claiming that only seconds had passed since she went underwater. As Izzy's parents return, Ronan kisses her and leaves. The next day, Elliot asks his sister about the previous night. After some hesitation, Izzy tells him about the strange encounter, but advises against telling their parents, as their dad is sick and needs peace of mind. However, they notice that the haunted pool seems to be helping Ray recover faster from his disease. Shortly after, the Wallers host a pool party with many people from the neighborhood attending. During the festivities, Elliot sets up a camera in a window overlooking the pool to capture any unusual activity. Inside the house, Eve talks to the realtor who sold them the property and inquires about why the pool was never used by the previous residents over the last 15 years, as revealed by the pool cleaner. The realtor confesses to not having disclosed the case of Rebecca's mysterious disappearance, which deterred others from using the pool. Eve realizes that the name of the girl matches the one Elliot heard in the pool earlier. Meanwhile, outside, Ray persuades a kid named Ty to join him in a game of chicken against another man and child. After winning, Ray unintentionally moves backward into the deep end of the pool while still holding onto Ty so he can't let go. A misty gray cloud emerges from the drain and enters Ray's mouth. Elliot sees Ty struggling in the water and quickly runs to get his mom, while Ty's dad jumps in to rescue his son. Ray is pulled out of the water after nearly drowning, but he remains safe. Later, Eve apologizes to Ty's parents, and they agree not to press charges against Ray due to his illness, but they warn the Wallers to stay away from them. Following the incident, Eve decides it's time to leave the house with Ray and the kids. Initially, Ray protests, arguing that the pool is helping him heal. However, Eve insists that their safety is at risk, and they can't stay any longer. As they start driving away, Ray's health suddenly deteriorates, and he begins choking. They have to turn back and take him home. In bed, Ray apologizes for what happened and pleads to be taken back to the pool, but Eve refuses to listen. She also decides to drain the pool water. Growing increasingly worried, Eve researches the previous residents of the house and discovers that more people disappeared without a trace before Rebecca. With her realtor's help, Eve tracks down the Summers family residence and meets Kay, Rebecca, and Tommy's mother. Kay informs Eve that Tommy is now healthy and running for senator. Eve questions Kay about the pool and Rebecca. After some hesitation, Kay reveals the truth. The water from the pool comes from an ancient spring where people used to make wishes, but a cursed entity demands a sacrifice in return. Kay's wish was for Tommy's recovery, so the entity made her sacrifice Rebecca, as Tommy heard his sister's cries for help, but Kay had already locked him away to prevent him from interfering. Eve notices that Kay is still under the entity's influence, as she begins to regurgitate and tear up black water. Even the water in an indoor fountain starts leaking and turning black. Kay assures Eve not to worry about her husband, as the sacrifice will save him and ensure that people continue to come to live in the house. Realizing her children are in grave danger, Eve rushes back home. On the way, she tries calling home, but her mobile phone is soaked and not working. Meanwhile, Ray becomes possessed by the demon again while taking a bath, and the pool's drain starts expelling water, refilling the pool. At night, Izzy and Elliot return home after meeting Ronan and find themselves alone. While Elliot drinks a glass of water, he thinks he hears cider by the pool, so he goes outside to check. Elliot sees a shadow of his cat on a pool floater, but when he tries to reach for it, one of the pool demons startles him, causing him to fall into the water. At the same time, the pool cover starts to close itself. Izzy rushes to help Elliot, and Eve also comes to the rescue. She tells Izzy to get help and jumps into the pool herself to save Elliot. Meanwhile, in the house, a possessed Ray attacks Izzy. She fights her father while Eve is attacked by demons in the pool, which has somehow become as deep as a well. The spirits of the pool's victims try to pull them under, but Eve fights them off, losing her torchlight in the process. Confused, she can't find her way out until Rebecca's spirit appears and drops a coin to show Eve the correct direction to swim. Rebecca's guidance helps her swim to the surface, saving Elliot. However, Ray catches up to them and almost chokes Eve until Izzy hits him with a baseball bat. She and Eve then try to reach out to Ray so he can fight the entity. Ray soon vomits up the black water and Elliot regains consciousness. When they attempt to take Elliot to the hospital, the entity starts to attack him from within. Realizing they won't be allowed to leave without a sacrifice, Ray walks into the pool to save his family, sacrificing himself to the entity. Elliot is freed from the entity's hold on him. As the movie concludes, the family grieves Ray's sacrifice but decides to remain in the house to prevent others from encountering the entity. Determined to eliminate the threat for good, Eve, Izzy, and Elliot hire a crew to fill the pool with dirt, sealing it off forever. I hope you enjoyed the recap. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.